Is love in the air, or is your relationship on the verge of destruction? Let's talk about it. Sit back,
relax,
and enjoy your favorite cocktail as we discuss relationships, dating,
sex,
and love. Love on the rocks, that is.
Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks.
All right, welcome to Love on the Rocks. Hey, I'm Roger the Wild Child along with Michelle Urso. Happy Monday.
Yes, happy Monday. So excited to be here.
It's so much fun to do this show every Monday night, and we always look forward to, engaging with a new topic, a new guest. We have the relationship influencers that just, pop on, and it's such a great time. And tonight is an interesting topic that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about breakups. Should you forgive your ex? Michelle's shaking her head. No, she's like, no way.
Hell no. You broke up for a reason.
Right?
Yep.
So absolutely. I don't know. Can you forgive your? I guess it's all about the situation that you are in.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, very situational.
Yeah, I had a situation just real quick where we were together for about a little over a year, and got into an argument, which we hardly ever did, and he broke up with me. So I was shocked. I was very upset about it. Gave him about a week, asked if we could talk, just because I'm like, you know what? If I don't express my feelings, if I don't tell him how much I love him, I don't want to regret that. Right. So talk to him. And I was like, if it makes a difference, cool. If it doesn't, then we're going to move on. And it didn't. And we stuck with, breaking up. But people make rash decisions when they're emotional. So that's the only instance where I was like, okay, I'm going to fight for this because I truly love this person. And if he sticks with his decision, so be it. But I just didn't want to have any regrets on my end. So.
And sometimes people take, they break up and then they get back together and they realize it's not what I wanted. It's about wanting to fix the relationship. And sometimes they break up because they need that break. And then they come back together. I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard couples. I've even been through. We broke up. We got back together. We broke up. I mean, how many breakups does it take for you to realize it's not going to work?
Not meant to be. Right. Just let it break.
Right. So yeah, we've been through that, and so forth. So we're going to talk about it. We have our breakup coach, Paige Wilhide. She's an expert in breakups, and she's going to be joining us here in a few minutes. Let's see.
I'm excited for that.
I you know what? So am I. And you know what? You could watch us. We're streaming live right now on Facebook and YouTube on both Love on the Rocks pages and Roger the Wild Child Show pages. Also, we are on Twitch. So look for Love on the Rocks podcast on Twitch. You can find us. We're streaming live on there as well. So exciting stuff, right? So, and then in 2 weeks from tonight, May 8th, I had actor Eric Roberts on the Roger the Wild Child Show. Him and his wife are coming back to talk about their marriage and their love life in Hollywood.
So
Julia
exciting.
Roberts' brother, Eric Roberts, and I talked to his wife, Eliza Simons, and I said, listen, we would love to have you guys back on the show. And, and let's talk about your relationship, not about Eric's career, in Star 80 and some of these other films and TV shows he's been in, but I'm sure we could touch base on that again. But if you wanted to watch that other episode, just go to Roger the Wild Child Show and you'll see the Eric Roberts interview on there as well. So you could join us. You could join that, and then he'll come back May 8th, 2 weeks from tonight, and they're going to talk about their marriage, their love life, and how they're surviving it in Hollywood. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
So Yep. So let's bring on Lydia. She's one of our relationship influencers, all smiles and everything. Hello, Lydia.
Hello.
Hey,
How is it
hey.
going?
Great. Good to see your face again.
Yes,
Missed yours too.
I love your hoodie. I mean, not your hoodie. Your
Your beanie?
yes, your
This
beanie.
beanie has become like my trademark. I always wear it like whenever I do like podcasts and stuff. And I literally got it for $2 off of Shein. And
Yes.
$2.
Right. I
Sure.
got my $2. But I was like, oh my God, I really need to get like a backup because what if I lose this? Then I lose my identity.
Yeah.
Can't hear it anymore.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh. It's kind of funny, ladies. I mean, right before my show, okay, or our show, I got this message on the Love on the Rocks Instagram Messenger, and this girl messages me and says, "Hey, how are you doing?" I'm like, "Fine." She goes, "Are you married? Do you have kids?" I'm like, "I've got kids. I'm not married." And she's like, "Oh, I'm single too. I'm 34." And I'm like, I'm 52, but okay. I've been down.
Age ain't nothing but a number.
Age ain't nothing but a number. And I said, okay. So then she messages me and she goes, "What's your name?" And I said, "Bobby."
Yes.
And she goes, "Oh, hi, Bobby." And she goes, I go, "What's your number?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm use my grandma's phone." Okay. You use your grandma's phone? Are you serious now?
So what's her number?
Oh. What's your grandma's number?
What's
She's
your
single?
grandma? Is she single? I was like, "What? Are you kidding me right now?" I'm like, all right, this is like total spam. I was just going along with her for a minute. I was like, okay, I gotta find out exactly what she's intending. But
Red flags.
it was completely red flag. Like, it's just
We
like,
need to get little red flags to just hang up.
Oh,
Hold
yes.
up during the show.
It's a great idea.
right? Absolutely.
But
And then
I think like 90% of messages on Instagram are just spam and stuff.
A lot of them are. Yeah. Just
they are.
Shouting out the chat real quick. Hi, Aaron. Hi, Richard. Welcome in. Good
Yeah,
evening.
Aaron is in the house.
What's going on?
And then we got Richard Lee. What's up, everyone? Good evening.
Good evening.
And
to you.
Megan is here. Let's bring Megan on.
Hey, Meg.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how are you doing?
Are you recovering good?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It's probably operator Ariel.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I can't even figure out how to make this like mic stand work. I'm not even worried about it tonight.
Yeah. Sound good to me on this end.
Yeah, you
It's
sound
over
good.
here in like pieces. Like
You're doing great.
Yeah, so I told her you need to get one of these microphone arms that I got right here, right? And then she ordered it, but she's still got to put it together.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's all right.
You sound good.
You got another
One
week
day.
before you do it. You sound great, Meg.
You look great.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we're glad to have you back this
Exhausted.
week.
I've been exhausted. Like
It's
me
all
and
right,
my
you're
kid
here.
are I'm gonna DDT him.
All right.
So we're going to talk about breakups today. Some great breakup stories. All right. And so you were going to bring our guest on here in just a second. I'm going to put you ladies in the green room. You're just going to kind of just, watch for a few, and then we'll bring you back on here momentarily.
See you soon.
All right. So anyway, so let's bring on our guest tonight. She is a comedian. She does her own show. She's a stand-up, and she is a breakup coach. Please welcome to the show, Paige Wilhide. Paige!
Woo! Welcome in.
Hi.
So excited.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Yes.
It's a pleasure. This is really fun. I don't do a lot of live stuff, like except my live show, but that's like live stuff on YouTube that like I don't know who's watching. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, but we're here for it.
It's
We are
more
here-
nerve-wracking than your live show with people.
Yeah.
with real life people, like right in front of your face?
Yeah, I think because it's like you don't know who's watching. Like I always get the
Mhm.
fear that there's going to be like trolls out there that are going to have an opinion about me and it's going to like really ruin my life.
Yeah.
Fuck the trolls.
I know it's a really hard thing for a people pleaser to really, take in that lesson.
So let's
So
talk about your stand-up. Let's talk about what you do, your show that you're touring with. You're going to go out of the country with the show too, right?
yeah, I am. So it's not stand up, it's a scripted show. It's a one
Okay.
woman show. Yeah, so it's called Breakup Addict. And I'm sure we'll bring in some stories from Breakup Addict throughout this next hour. But yeah, it's a one woman show about my relationships and about my breakups, which have been many, 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 an abundance of breakups. And I basically play 20 different characters, including some of my exes, including like the voices in my head in different situations and
Wow.
scenarios. And it's a 75-minute show, and I'm touring. I'm going to be in Hollywood Fringe Festival coming up in June, and then I'm going to Edinburgh, Scotland, to tour the show in
Nice.
August.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What
it's
made you?
pretty
What
wild.
inspired you to do all this?
So, my coaching business was like really, it was going really well. And it was like something was missing, I was like supporting people through their breakups. I had a group program. I was creating like a community of single women who were getting empowered around their singleness and feeling like okay about where they were at their path in life. And like something was missing. And I've always been an actress. Like I grew up on stage. I love even though I'm nervous about this, like I love this shit,
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I was like, I really want to like be performing again. And I went into, I guess there's a lot of context to this, but essentially last year I had this like big revelation that I was a love addict and that I was like looking to all of my relationships to fill something that was empty inside of me. And eventually I realized like nothing out there is going to fill this.
Right.
It's me, And so what I did was I actually went through a withdrawal period like you do in any kind of 12-step program. You take away the drug. And so I took away men. I didn't interact with men.
Really? And how did that go?
It was so devastating. It was It was one of the hardest things I've done. And it sounds kind of crazy because you're like, why is that a hard thing to do? But for me, because like I had just relied on it for so much of my value, to like tell me that I'm worthy. And so when I went through withdrawal, I had all of this energy in my body. I was like, I realized that I had been putting my energy into like texting people and going on apps and going on dates and just like trying to get my next hit, And so I had all this energy when I was in withdrawal and I put it towards writing my show and writing down my stories. And it eventually grew into what it is now.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And good on you for recognizing that you needed to do that because a lot of people don't. And they go their entire life with just trying to fill that void, whether it's within a relationship or a drug or whatever it is that, that a lot of people do. They don't even recognize it. So good on you for not only recognizing it, but doing something with it and like turning it into something powerful. That's so awesome.
Thank you.
Was it
so
difficult?
Much.
Was it difficult for you to not be connected to a guy?
Yeah, totally. At first it was like, I actually was like scared. This sounds so silly, but I was scared to go outside because I didn't know how to be in the world if I wasn't like pulling for a man's attention or trying to get a reaction out of somebody just for the sake of doing it. Not even because I was attracted necessarily, just to like, use people. And I'll tell you, it's been a very humbling experience to like see all of these things, all these revelations. But over time, what happened was I started getting more comfortable being alone and being with myself. And like I bought a scooter. I like went on scooter adventures. I really built such a like nourishing life for myself where I'm like, oh, I actually don't need a partner.
So you learn to love yourself first before you love somebody else.
100%.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm actually hoping to post my next blog tomorrow, and it's all about self-love and how you can grow that and develop that. So that's amazing. Maybe we'll have to chat a little bit.
It's literally, yeah, it's like the foundation of a good relationship is self-love.
It really is.
Mhm.
For everything in life, not even just a
Totally.
relationship, for everything.
Yeah.
So let's talk
That's
about your first
awesome.
breakup that you dealt with.
Ooh.
The first one.
The first like really bad heartbreak.
Yeah, that was like my biggest heartbreak, actually. Probably to this day, like there have been others, but that one like really was significant because it was my first one,
Okay.
and like I think we really like cherish in first loves like influence us in so many ways, maybe more than we even know.
Mhm.
Like if they're like the first one we have sex with, the first one we open ourselves up to, the first one we say I love you to, the first one where we're meeting their families and trying to integrate our lives and creating a picture of what the future could be,
Yeah.
So I had a really hard time. I was it was the beginning of college, and the only thing that didn't work about it was like I was curious about other men. Like I just wanted to be exploring and be out there, and like I started drinking and I had so much confidence, and I was like partying, and like men were attracted to me, and I was like, this is cool. I don't want a boyfriend anymore. And he was such a wonderful, wonderful man. So I was like very conflicted
But you weren't ready yet.
because I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have a good reason. It wasn't like I didn't have a good reason to break up with him. He didn't do anything wrong.
Mhm.
So I like created all these scenarios that were like kind of shady, where I would like go to frat parties and flirt with his frat brothers, and like he got mad and I was like, why are you mad? I'm flirty, and like blaming him.
So you were being the bitch in the situation here.
Well, exactly. Exactly. Us women can be tricky with our
You
with our
can
power.
be
We
tricky.
can.
We can be
Yes.
real sneaky with our power. We have a lot more power than sometimes like
Agreed.
we are willing to let people know.
Us men, we don't have the same power as you women. You have something we don't have. Actually, you
Truly.
have something we want.
Yeah. Roger, you get it. You get it.
Oh my gosh.
Revelations happening on this show.
You so get it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it's really
women are the
important.
opposite way. They don't care as much. They do care, but they're just not as outspoken about it. But men are more hungry than women are. I feel.
Interesting. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I don't know either. In what way do you mean?
I think guys are more okay. So somebody and I had we had a conversation about this once. Men are more hungry for sex than women. Women are hungry for sex. They don't expose it as much as guys. They're not as obvious about it as much as guys are. Agreed?
So like men are more overt about their hunger.
Exactly. Women are just like,
Yeah.
I want it, but it's like, I'm not going to let you know. Guys are like, oh, yes.
Right.
Give it to me, baby.
And then we do all kinds of like sneaky things when we don't get our hunger fed, when we don't get fed, because it's like, I didn't say what I wanted, and now I'm mad at you for not knowing and not reading my mind.
I was just going to say that. We're not, trying to be mind readers over here, but
No.
that's what we expect. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But I think it goes both ways. I think we put things in our heads that we think the other partner knows and they don't know because there's a lack of communication.
Right.
Yep.
100%.
So how did it end with you in that first breakup?
We were like, it was like one of those that you were talking about at the beginning of the show, the like on again, off again, and it was so dramatic, which I loved, it was like, we like would fight in the street and like yell at each other in the bar, and I'd like push him. And it was just like,
fuck you, asshole. Hey, bitch, get the hell out of here. I don't want to talk to you. Guess what? Next day, you guys are calling each other. Sorry, baby.
Yeah, totally.
I was just drunk. I was just drunk last night. I apologize. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd get drunk the next night and just call him crying, miss you, I love you.
I miss you. Oh my God, baby, please come over. I miss you.
Yeah. And so eventually he like I loved playing that game for a little while, and then he met somebody else. and they fell in love. And then I was absolutely like, that's
You're
when I
the
was
one who
heartbroken.
lost out. You
That's when
lost
you were
out a great
devastated.
guy because you were so thinking about yourself here and
Yeah.
your needs. You weren't thinking about what this partner was able to provide for you. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Lessons learned. Yeah.
Lessons learned, I tell you. Yeah. And I really it took me a long time to grieve that relationship.
Nick on YouTube, I feel like that if and when women let it be known that they are hungry for sex, then we are viewed as being
Loose.
loose.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean it's always tricky when it comes to perceptions, right?
Mhm.
So there's, I feel like women are being more open about everything in their lives versus from the past, but
Hmm.
whether perceptions are saying, oh, if she's going to go sleep around, then she's a whore, whereas a guy, it's
Right.
always been okay for a guy. So
You
yeah,
know,
it's
Yeah.
just,
if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. But, it doesn't always, pan out that way.
yeah, perceptions are tricky.
It is. Girls are considered sluts, and guys are just like, oh, it's another score for him.
He's the man.
He's the man.
Yep.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a
Taylor
lot
Swift's
of,
got a song about that.
Yeah, a lot of cultural context around
sure.
sex for both men and women, and
Right.
both sides lose in those stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. They really do. And I think it's a mind game that the guys and the guy and the girl, or guy and the guy. I keep saying guy and girl because we got to look at, there's other types of relationships out there. But with your partner, sometimes they play the games like they're like, I'm going to see if he's jealous. I'm going to see if she's jealous or whatever. And they play these games, and you get so far fetched into these games that you guys lose who you are as a couple, and sometimes it destroys those relationships.
I was just going to say that it's so hard to come back from that and have a
It
trusting,
really is.
lasting, wholesome relationship.
Because you play these games with each other, and then it's like, where's the true love? There's no true love. You guys got to play games with each other.
Right.
Yeah. And I would
Paige,
argue that if you're playing games, you're not actually yourself. You're not actually being you. You're putting on a mask, you're putting on a character, you're trying
Right.
to be somebody else.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Thomas Wright on Facebook, he says, hey, y'all. So I always want to give shout outs to anybody that's commenting.
Yeah,
So
what's
sorry.
up, Thomas? Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining the party, Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paige, do you
Love
see any trends or similarities with some of your clients as a relationship breakup coach? Like, do you?
Oh gosh,
There ain't-
it's all across the board because I work with people in all different stages of the breakup process. Some of them are deciding whether they want to stay or go. And so I really support them in getting clarity for themselves one way or another. Another process another part of the process is right after the breakup when you're in that falling to the ground on your knees kind of grief.
Mhm.
And then the last one is a ways away from the breakup and you feel like you should be healed by now.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool that you support
Yeah.
people in every stage.
Yeah, it's really fun. And that mixes it up, because it's there's no story is the same.
Yeah,
Can
I'm
I see one of
sure.
your routines?
What? Oh, one of my
Yes.
one of my characters?
Yeah, one of your characters in action.
Okay, so all right. Well, the one character, I have two characters that kind of play off of each other a lot. One of them is Addict. And she's like, oh my God, that guy is so cute. He's totally our husband. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to go write our vows together. And we're gonna look so cute on the altar. Who cares if this is our first date? And then there's Intuition, who's like, okay, well, we need to slow down right now because you are getting a little bit out of control, Addict, and this person is not our husband. So there's each other.
I love it. You got to have some serious talent to bounce back and forth between characters, like just yourself in a one-person show.
But it's also really fun.
I can't imagine how exhausting that must be.
That's all the things. Yeah. Well, in Edinburgh, I'm doing a show a day for all of August, the entire month of August. I do one show a day. Yeah. It's going to be crazy. It's like a
That's
marathon.
wild. Yeah.
Mhm.
You're going to crush it
Yeah.
though. It's going to be great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna bring on our relationship influencers, bring them back on so that they could chime in on the conversation. Lydia and Megan, hello.
Hello. I was just
Hi.
typing a comment because I'm like, man, if she's going to be doing a show a day in Scotland, when is she going to have time for the Loch Ness Monster?
Right?
I'll have
Solid
to stay an
question.
extra week. I'm gonna have
Okay.
to tack on a week to the end, and then I'll go look for the Loch Ness Monster.
Perfect.
Love me some Nessie.
Love me some accents, you know? I love a good
Yeah.
accent.
They're a little tricky to hear sometimes.
They
I'm
are.
like, what did you just say? Can you repeat that?
I'm rewatching Sons of Anarchy, and I have a newfound appreciation for the character Chibs, who's Scottish in the show. And I'm like, oh man. But I was like, I'll never meet him.
Hey, you never know.
That's
Manifest.
the addict in me.
Never say never. That's the addict in you. We all have one.
Yes.
It's true. Mhm.
Way
So,
true.
Paige, I would love your take on forgiving an ex and taking them back. I know everything is like situationally dependent, so it really obviously depends on what they did or, you know, how the thing ended, but I guess from your experience, do you see couples that get back together have success from your perspective?
So I think the like short answer to that, and it might actually turn into a long answer, is I see it work when both couples are willing to work on themselves separate of the relationship and come back to the relationship and relate to it as a new relationship.
I love that.
It's like
Yeah,
you're
that's good.
recreating your relationship. Like you got to clear out all the old resentments that you have, all this cuz this is the thing. I think Roger was talking about this at the beginning of the show is like there's this like we're back together. We're separated. We're back together,
Mhm.
you know, and they're like always having the same fight. And like I don't care if the fight is about like Cheetos or where you parked the car or, you know, like what we're going to name our kids. It is always the same thing is underneath of it. And so if you can like actually do some work to look at your part, look at yourself, take some freaking responsibility for your shit
Right.
and clear out those resentments and then come back into the relationship, then it has a chance of working.
I love that.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
definitely.
Yeah.
So Megan, what's your take on breakups? So you got any breakup stories? She's laughed.
Oh man, do I ever? I do.
Tell me, girl.
Do we not remember Jenny from last week?
Yeah.
Jenny Hunter. She still sucks at life.
Fuck you, Jenny Hunter.
Yes, fuck you, Jenny Hunter.
We reframed that last week. She
What?
saved you.
We
I said we
yes,
reframed
the
that last
She
conclusion.
week.
did. She did save me, but still, fuck you, Jenny Hunter.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, man, I've got some killer.
Well, let's hope
Yeah,
not
man.
literally.
No.
I don't want to turn you in. I won't.
Please don't turn me in.
right.
But yeah, I do have some. I've dated some douchebags, man.
Mm.
All right, do tell. Give us a good story.
Yeah, I want to hear.
Oh my gosh, where do I even begin? The breakup with Matt was pretty intense. Oh man, what kind of breakup you want?
Can we have a funny one?
Yeah.
Have mine been funny? I don't know if I have anything funny. It might be something that I found haha funny that they definitely did not find haha funny.
I think that's great.
I mean, okay, so the worst that I've ever done, and I shouldn't have done it, but I'm not sorry. Dated a guy for 11 months right before our 1 year. We had split up, which was great. Fine, whatever. You go your way and I'll go mine. Only he didn't want to go his way and me go mine. he wants his cake and to eat it too. So he would still contact me, and I got tired of it one day, and he sent me a very nude picture of himself standing in a doorway, like trying to look GQ, butt naked. And I thought to myself, like, no, that's not what we're going to do today at all. And they just didn't stop.
Was he sending like different poses?
Yeah. So
different
where
angles.
he lives is a very small town, and everybody knows everybody. So I thought it was that much better. And so I got a billboard. I rented a billboard.
Oh shit.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did. I rented a billboard, and I posted that picture with some text beside it that said, "The only reason men act like assholes or act like dicks is to make up for the ones they don't have."
Oh, damn. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
shocked.
epic.
You know,
That
it was
is
the only thing I could
epic.
think of. Like,
I'd say your balls were probably bigger than his.
yeah.
Did you hear from him
Good
after
call.
that?
Yeah, he sent me a picture of him on the side of the road taking a picture of the billboard,
Of the billboard?
sent it to me, and he said, "You've got to be kidding me." And I said, "I absolutely was not joking. I told you to stop with the messages and to just go your way and I'll go mine." And he said,
Mess
"You've
with the
got-"
bull, you get the horns.
He's like, "Megan, it's the billboard right above my job." I said, yes,
Just when you
Buzzball, it
thought
is.
it couldn't get
Like, I
better.
know.
It is the billboard above your job, homie. I'm sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
It was either that or the entrance to your neighborhood.
That's
One or the other.
amazing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What an awesome story.
I can't
that was.
believe you had that story. You're like, I don't have any funny stories.
Nothing.
Forget about
Nothing.
That
Let's
was
just
incredible.
bring out the top tier hilarity.
Paige,
I mean,
you're going to
the
need to
models-
write that into your script somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is brilliant. That is a really brilliant move.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I was always the mean. I probably shouldn't even say that. I'm always nice.
Always.
Of course you are.
Always.
There's not an evil bone in your body.
Not a one.
Unless you
Not a
go
one.
with an X.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any comments or have any questions or have a breakup story you'd like to share, feel free to throw it in the comments below.
I think you should
And-
share Cody.
And
Yeah.
Cody says that Lydia, you're always the nice one.
See?
What can I say?
Love it. She's got some sly
Wow.
comments, but she's always sweet about it.
I want to
Yes,
see
she
a
is.
photo of this billboard.
Yes.
Hold up, I got it on my phone.
Photo
Hang on.
evidence.
You know that gif of the cat on the computer? That's just type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
on
great
it.
right now.
I'm on it.
Paige, I have a question for you. I feel like so many people love to just run when things get hard instead of actually trying to work through it. Do you see that a lot with people that are on the fence about whether to stay or go?
I think if they're getting to the point of like coming to me, they've hit a wall in their relationship and they're like willing to work on it. Like they want to work on they really love this person.
Right.
I think the people who like run don't work with me. They just leave.
Mhm.
You know, they're like, okay, I'm gone.
Yeah.
It's definitely a pattern. Like the like, this is becoming too much. It's too vulnerable. I don't want to have this anymore. It's like a lot to hold, a lot to be with, whatever, right? And they just like exit. Yeah.
I just feel like
Avoidance pattern.
there's quite a few people I'm talking to right now who just have been on the fence for so long. but that's their go-to when things get hard, is to run. They haven't actually left the relationship yet, but they're constantly questioning themselves. Should I stay or should I go?
And
Yeah.
I'll add that. I mean, obviously, I was in my marriage for whatever felt like a couple decades. But it's like going back to what I said in the previous episode is like when you're married, you have kids. Sometimes you stay for the wrong reason, and you ask yourself, should I stay or should I go? And
Mhm.
a lot of times kids kind of keep people together for the wrong reason. But it just many times you always question it because you don't want to like walk away and say we could have fixed this, but then you're in it and you're repeating the same problem, the same pattern over and over again, and you're not getting any different result out of it. At that point, you guys need to part ways. And sometimes we don't want to see that when we're in this relationship, we are in this breakup, or wondering if we should break up. We don't see it, but from everybody from the outside looking at you saying, why are you guys still together?
Right.
And you're like, because this person's been in my life for almost 20 years. I can't live without this person, but I can't live with this person either.
Yeah.
At some point, like the attachment becomes like, it's like a bond, like a trauma bond almost, where you're afraid that if you cut the cord with this person, that you won't be safe anymore, that you won't be loved anymore. You won't have the things that it requires like a burning down of your life as you know it in some ways, and so it really is like, I say that a breakup is a spiritual journey. It's a real spiritual journey. Like you go all the way down. Like you actually have to hit a bottom and then look at your part.
And that's how it was with my marriage. I hit rock bottom, but you know what? Then there's that stairway that goes up. You go up. You've hit the bottom. And then when I talk to people right now that are going through the hard times and going through what I did years ago, I'm like, listen, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's not the train coming at you. Okay.
Yeah.
Trust me, this too will pass. Okay.
Yeah. Everything is temporary.
Everything is temporary.
Exactly. Yeah.
Things do get better. And you know what? And you just got to keep the journey going, learn from it, understand why you are in this situation. And you know what? You're good. Other doors are going to open. As some doors close, new ones open for you.
Yeah, 100%. And I will say, from a past experience that I've had, I was being manipulated. So I was having such a hard time on whether I should stay or go, because I didn't then trust myself, because I was being manipulated. So I believed him, even though my gut was telling me something different. That was the biggest lesson I ever could have learned from that relationship, was to trust my gut and to trust my intuition, because I was right the entire time. But instead, I did recognize that I was unhappy. So I was like, okay, let me get back to me and see if I can get back to the things that make me happy. So I started working out again, went to the gym. I even went on a yoga retreat out in Sedona by myself to be like, okay, let this spiritual journey, right? Like, let me get back to me.
Yes.
And after all of this, started going to Al-Anon meetings and therapy, because, he was an addict. And so when I got through with all of this, I looked at myself and I was like, oh no, I'm damn happy with me. Like, I'm good. So it's definitely the relationship that needs to change.
It goes back to what I was saying. You got to love yourself first before you can love somebody else. And, and people are in a relationship because they're looking for love. They're not happy and they feel like they're going to be content with somebody else. That doesn't help build a relationship. If you're not content on who you are as an individual, somebody in your life as a significant other is not going to make it better for you. It's actually going to complicate things even worse. So,
and imagine the pressure. Imagine the pressure you put on that person.
Right.
Is like, they have to be this thing. And if you are not this thing, then the love story that I've like created about us is useless, and it doesn't work. Right. So it's like, that's a lot of pressure to put on someone else, to like be your other half, fill me in.
It totally is. But I was so happy with myself when we met. And then 4 years, fast forward 4 years, and I was miserable. And I was like, okay, have I lost my own identity? Have I lost happiness
It's
with
easy
it?
to it's easy to do.
It is. And so that's where I had to take a step back and be like, am I unhappy with me or is it the relationship? And so when I got back to, taking care of myself, that's when I realized, oh no, I'm good. I'm happy with who I am. So
that's such good awareness, Michelle. And like, I wish for every person, not just women, but like every person to have that reconciling with themselves, that they like come to a point where they're like, what happened? I have to fill myself back up and then reevaluate.
Yeah. And I'm grateful I did that, because had I not done that, I guarantee I would have went back had we broken up. I would have went right back to him. And I see why people do that.
Because it's a comfort zone for you. Because it's even though it's not a safety zone, it is a safety zone. And yeah, because you know the person, even though you know that you shouldn't be with that person, that person, and it somewhat in a weird, bizarre way, it's safe to you at that moment.
Well, and truly, I loved him with everything I had, and I thought I was going to be with him the rest of my life. So had I not put in that work in myself and grown my confidence, I guarantee I would have went back to him, because I loved him that much. But I just knew, like, I can't live my life like this for the rest of my life if he's going to choose to be this way and not change himself.
Right.
Did you really? Were you really love him, or was it more of a safety zone for you to say I love him?
No, I really loved him. Like, we were together for 5 years and we were business partners. We worked together side by side every day for 3 years. And like,
so you love him, but you weren't in love with him, right?
No, I 100% was in love with him. His addiction got out of control, and he decided that, he couldn't, I don't want to say, he had an addiction. And so that was my turning point where I'm like, okay, I can't live my life like this anymore. If he's going to,
crossroads.
Yeah. So that's what ended it for us was that.
And is that the one that you were talking about at the beginning with forgiving?
No, that was a different one.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I will never beg somebody to be with me ever in my life. But that first instance, he broke up with me and I didn't know if it was just a rash and emotional decision. That's why I was like, I'm going to put my heart out here, tell him how I'm feeling. And if he, maybe made a rash decision, let's talk about it. But if he didn't, he didn't. And then so be it. But I didn't want to have any regrets by not telling him how I felt. So yeah, but that was a different relationship.
All right. Yeah. So I want to ask everybody here, and we'll do a round robin. Simple question, should you forgive your ex? Michelle, your thoughts?
I think it's very situationally dependent. So like I said, that first relationship, if he made a rash decision in the moment because we were arguing, I would forgive him. Let's talk about it and work through whatever the underlying issue is. But my other relationship, absolutely not. I saw his true colors when we broke up, and it's something that was very unforgivable. There's things that are said and done that you cannot come back from.
Right. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think it's all situational for me.
Lydia?
For me, and I know I'm pretty like petty and stuff, I can forgive you, but I will never, ever, ever forget. And that will work its way at me. And that's a personal thing. So I will always, if something happened, I can forgive you for it. We get back together. It's always going to be up here.
Of course.
So that's how I am.
Megan?
Hell no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No.
It's a hard no.
Hard no?
Hard, strong no.
Hard no.
No. Mm-mm. I'm not forgiving shit. I'm forgiving myself for
ever being with you in the first place.
Yeah, I should have just not even said hello and kept on walking the other way. I'm forgiving myself for that. I'm not forgiving him for anything.
Okay.
Nothing.
Personally, I think, like you said, it's situational, but like if you're going to cheat on somebody, there's no going back to that. You may say, okay, I forgive you or whatever, but like Lydia says, it's always going to be in your head. You betrayed that line. You betrayed that trust. Even white lies. Even if you say a white lie and you're like, okay, if you're hiding a white lie, what bigger lies are you hiding? Okay.
And there will always be bigger lies.
Exactly.
With white lies.
If you don't open up the honesty up front in the beginning of a relationship, you're setting yourself up for failure down the road. Should you forgive your ex? You know what? You break up for a reason, and maybe just because you're not compatible. Is that something to be forgivable? I mean, if you guys aren't compatible, there's no reason to be angry at the other person. You just realize, you know what, it's just not working. I mean, can you forgive them for not making the relationship work? Yeah, I guess I can forgive you because you know what? We're just realizing we're not, you know, in sync with each other. But I mean, but if you do something against me, I can forgive you because, yeah, I can forgive you. You screwed up or whatever, or I screwed up. Will you forgive me? But is things going to go back to where it was before? It's not. And I don't care what people say over and over again. It is 10 times much harder to go backwards or to go forward after going backwards. So you can forgive, but it's not going to be the same. And
Paige, what's your take?
These are really interesting perspectives. So my take on this is that, I see forgiveness as like a boulder, like it's like, or like the resentment from the relationship is a boulder that we carry. Resentment is so heavy in our bodies and it weighs us down and it keeps us from like really moving forward in our lives, like opening to receive more love, opening for the next person to come into our lives. Like if we're holding that boulder, it's actually more harmful to us than our ex. Like it doesn't impact our ex if we're like mad at them, and holding all this resentment against them. They are moving on with their lives and doing their thing. And so in that sense, it's really important to like let go of that resentment, cut that cord, like really give yourself that gift of forgiving your ex. At the same time, I think it's really important to go through the phase of being pissed off and being angry and being annoyed and irritated and resentful and like really letting yourself feel that all the way through. And then I think you can come to the other side of it. But you can't forgive your ex until you're ready to forgive your ex. And you may not be ready. And I'm like, if you're at a point where you just want to be in your like anger and like resentment, do it. Be in that. Like let's like really let yourself move through it so that you're not like carrying and holding this weight of it forever.
See, I don't think, I feel like I will never forgive Matt for what he did to me, like ever. But at the same time, I don't carry his bullshit on my back neither. Like he can still eat, just not at my table. I let it all go, but he's not going to get my forgiveness. I'm just not at that point. I don't think I'll ever be at that point. This is a really hard thing to say, but if he fell into a pack of like a den of lions or something, I'd leave him. I'd leave him in the den and I wouldn't feel bad about it one bit. Yeah. But there's definitely no forgiveness for what he did to me.
But he deserves that.
And sorry?
I said he deserves that.
Yeah. Completely.
I love that perspective, Paige, because I was only thinking of it as forgiving them to take them back. But you're so right. You need to process and feel all of those emotions to fully heal yourself. And I even said that this morning. I was like, I want to let go of this anger and resentment that I have from people from my past because it's not harming them whatsoever. It's only hurting me. So like I'm trying to find ways to let go of the hurt that I've gone through. And I am going through therapy now for it because I've had trauma from my past that I'm working through to let go of. But I do love that perspective that you just gave because in my head, this whole conversation, I was like, would you forgive them to take them back? That's where my head was at. But you're absolutely right. Like, even if they're an ex from years ago or a recent, you need to feel all those feelings and those emotions and then let it go.
Mm-hmm.
to fully heal yourself.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, and I totally agree with that because I've been in a situation, where, when I was younger, one of my older children, their mom and I separated. And when I was young, I didn't know how to deal with divorce. I didn't know how to deal with separation. And we, she kept me from my daughter. I signed my rights away to my daughter, to the man that she was going to marry. Because to me, I didn't know what my rights were. And when you're young and no one to help you, you're trying to think you're doing the right thing.
Mm.
And so, for many years, I was out of my daughter's life until she was 18, and then I reached out and I told my story. But the point I'm making here is that I resented my daughter's mom for years and years and years for keeping me from her life, even though it was my decision. But when I wanted her back in my life, and because I realized I made that mistake. She, eventually when my daughter was 18, she was part of my life again. We have a great relationship now. And, sometimes I just, I'll send little messages to her mom or whatever, and I'll just kind of joke with her because I can hold on to that anger for all the years, but it serves no purpose.
Yeah.
It's just, what? It's what happened. She was young. She didn't know how to deal with this situation. I didn't know how to deal with this situation. I made a mistake. I owned my mistake. But you know what? I was able to have a second chance to have my daughter in my life. I'm excited. I'm not angry with her. I'm bummed that I missed the years in my life with her, but I'm glad that I have that second chance. And that's what I can be thankful about. And I don't, you know what? You would think that I would be angry at her mom to this day, and I'm not. And it's not that I don't, I guess deep down, I kind of forgive the whole situation because I had to forgive myself for what I did. And, and I have to also remember that she was young too, and she made a decision that she thought was right. But at the end of the day now, my daughter has both of us in her life, and that should be the end. That's the end game there, and,
So beautiful.
Exactly.
I have that second chance with her, and we have a great relationship now. So
That's amazing. And children
Yeah.
know
That is so
the relationship's tumultuous between you and her mom. So
Yeah.
you're giving her a healthier life as well by not holding on to that anger towards her mother too.
correct.
You're
correct.
making it easier on your daughter.
Absolutely.
So it's
Because
healthy all
nobody
the way
wants to be in a
around.
tug of war. Nobody wants to be a tug of war.
No.
And then I could sit there and I could bash her mom all day, every day, and then her mom could bash me, and she doesn't want to deal with it. It's not worth.
Right.
It's not worth the fight.
Yeah.
It's not worth to hold on to that. And you know what? Sometimes you just got to feel content and be able to breathe and be like, you know what? I am thankful she's in my life, and that's what I got to think about today, not the years that I missed out of her life.
I love that story so much.
I do
That's
too.
so beautiful. And I really just saw like in your share how holding on to the resentment blocks connection and love. Like the thing you actually wanted from your daughter, and how if you were to stay in that like pushback and like the clinging on to like your righteousness, then it wouldn't allow for the relationship you have with your daughter right now.
Right.
100%.
That's so beautiful.
And gratitude is a beautiful thing. It can change your life. It's perspective.
It really can.
Absolutely.
I love it. Yay. Good feels all the way around.
It does.
I
It really,
know.
it feels good, when you talk about it, because I don't talk to a lot of people about this is I don't know why I brought this up, but I don't talk to a lot
It's
of people about
Because you needed
this.
to get it off your chest.
It was perfect for
Yeah.
the conversation.
And the other thing is like we're all human beings just trying to figure out this thing called life. you know, and we all make mistakes. We all fuck up. We all like do things that are like shady, right? None of us are perfect.
Right.
And
100%.
so
I don't
if
know.
we
I'm
can,
pretty
like,
close. Just kidding. Totally just kidding. I'm
I
so
love
far
you,
from
Lydia.
it.
right, so it's like, I think forgiveness is like acknowledging the other person's humanity, you know,
Yeah.
and being like, oh, you're a human too. I'm a human. Like,
Yeah.
let's just move forward now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was watching a documentary by Tony Robbins, and he was saying, like, if you're going to blame somebody for the bad things, you need to blame them for the good things too. So he, you know, he went through a very tough childhood, and he said, you know, if my mom was the woman I wanted her to be, I wouldn't be the man I'm proud to be. And I love that because it's taking the good and the bad and you're acknowledging both from the situation.
Right.
You know, you're not just stuck in the negatives. You're looking, you're pulling out the positives as well.
It's a good perception.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Highly
That's
recommend it.
Yeah, breakups are fraught with lessons. Our exes are some of our best teachers.
They really are.
For sure. For sure.
And I love the statement that life is happening for you, not to you. So if you know, not take the victim label off of everything and just pull out the lessons, there's always purpose in the pain. Always.
Absolutely.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Preach.
Every time.
Amen.
Paige Wilhide, I am so excited that you came and joined us for the party today. I mean, it's just so much fun and enlightening, talking about topics that, you know, we think about in our heads, but we don't really talk about them, you know, and that's what this show is all about. You know, it's like, should you forgive your ex? You're like, wait a second, should I forgive my ex? Wait, you know, it's like we don't discuss that on a day-to-day basis, but we think about that in our heads, you know, like should I or should I not, you know? And these are the conversations that we have. Like, you know, we had an episode on polyamorous relationships. You talk to a lot of these people, you know, out in society, they don't know what polyamorous is, and you're educating them on a lifestyle, and they're like, what? You know, it's like, does that exist? I'm like, yeah, it does. You know, and then of course our first episode we're talking about, you know, the dreaded dating apps and how, you know, society dating now is all technological, and you know, it's like it's
Red
not
flag
dating
city.
is not what it was 20 years ago.
No, it's not.
You know, so we dive into the topics that people don't really think out loud. You know, and that's what I love about this show.
So
yeah,
good.
Paige, you were fantastic. Your insight was amazing. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you all. And if you're going to be in Hollywood and
Paige.
LA in June, come see Breakup Addict.
Totally would. Are you going anywhere else in the country this year, or I know you're
Not
going to
yet,
Scotland,
but we'll
okay.
see.
Cool.
I would love to do a little tour. But yeah,
There we go.
Where can people check you out at? What's your socials?
You can find me on Instagram. That's where I love to hang out at Paige Wilhide, WILHIDE. And yeah, you can check out breakupaddict.com is my website.
Awesome.
Come say hi.
Awesome.
Will do for sure.
All right, Paige, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you. It was a
Good luck
pleasure.
with the shows
Great
in
to meet
Scotland.
you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Wow. What
She's
fun she
fantastic.
is.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She was. And you know what? You know, it's just she has a positive outlook on relationships and her life story. And, you know, she admits that, you know what, I screwed up. You know, I let this guy out fend for himself while I'm sitting there dating all these other guys. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
And that she was addicted to it too.
yeah,
Which is a huge self-realization. I love that.
absolutely.
Her story is fantastic.
Completely. We got some great shows coming up a week from Wednesday. Megan, producer Kristen K, and Patrick James will be joining me as we return Roger the Wild Child Show Nashville edition. And that will start May 3rd. Yep. We bring back the country music, and that'll be a lot of fun. Megan moving into the co-hosting role with Kristen K, and And so that'll be a lot of fun. And then Elise Harper will be back
Exciting.
to do Nashville music news for us. So it'll be a good show. So that'll be on Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And then, of course, our show every Monday night, an hour later,
Awesome.
10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Ladies, any final words?
Can y'all think of
did you get that picture of the billboard?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Almost got away with it.
I'm like, we need to see this picture.
Yeah, we do. There we go.
Okay,
Yes.
so I got the picture, not of the whole billboard, but of the
the genitalia.
that led me to making.
Not so gentle.
I don't know if y'all can see.
I was like, did you block out the dick? Because
Move
this
it back
is
towards your
live.
face.
I don't.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
so
coming
bright.
through.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh,
That's okay.
that's her.
I don't know if y'all can see it.
I want to see.
There
Oh,
it is.
no, it's an She didn't go for it.
Don't.
Oh my god. We're gonna get flagged.
Stop.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
love that you put that on a billboard. It's epic.
He didn't mess with me after that.
I
I
wouldn't.
hope not.
I
What
wouldn't
idiot
either.
would?
We're gonna recover.
Was that the pose that you put on the billboard?
That's the exact
Yes.
one.
Oh my
That is
gosh.
awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Mr.
That's
GQ.
He thought. He thought. He
Yeah.
thought.
Epic.
Right
Epic,
above his
epic.
workplace.
That's amazing.
I didn't
And you
care.
never heard from him again.
No, he's friends with my brother. When my brother's house, my family's property burnt down 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Les Paul, that's his name. He showed up to get my brother some stuff, and I just walked by him, and he was like, "You know, that was really fucking rude what you did." And I just laughed, and I was like, "Okay."
So was sending me photos after we broke up.
Yeah,
so
like yeah. So
Hmm.
I haven't talked to him in years, though.
it's too funny.
He's so ridiculous.
I love it.
Alrighty. Well, ladies, we will see you all next week. And Ike Cavelli will be back next week because he's been working on his show.
Nice.
So he'll be joining us for the fun. And definitely want to thank Lydia, Megan, Michelle always, and of course,
Always.
Right back at
Paige for being our guest this week.
Yay.
Make sure you guys like, follow, share, subscribe, get the podcast out. We'll be available on all the podcast platforms. We got Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts, you can be able to listen to us during the week while you're driving in your car or wherever you're working out at the gym. You just put the headphones on and listen to our banter. By all means, go for
By
it.
all means.
I'll
do it.
Absolutely.
We'll see you guys next Monday night with another amazing episode. Until then, I'm Roger the Wild Child.
Bye, ladies. Bye, Roger.
Michelle Urso.
Bye,
Good night,
guys.
ladies.
Good night. Bye.